Okay, good morning and welcome to today's webinar. We appreciate you joining us. My name is Isabella Perry and I will be your moderator. This presentation is on understanding USDA organic non-retail labels in the handling industry, presented by Rachel Winters, PJRFSI Organic Program Manager. So I have some quick housekeeping before we start. There will be a Q&A at the end of today's presentation, so please hold any questions off until the end, and we'll be able to answer anything that you have. The slides and the recording of today's presentation will be available on our website. So go there after today's presentation if you want to get any of that information, or if you happen to miss a part of today's presentation. Any additional questions, please contact us through our website so we can help you, after today's presentation. So now Rachel will take it away discussing today's topic.
Thank you, Isabella. So today is a continuation a little bit about labels before. So in a previous webinar, we did retail labels, and today we are going to be going over non-retail labels. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. I've been at PJRFSI for 4 years now. I have previous experience in R&D and Q&A position, so that I understand your guys' work pretty well about what you guys are working on, how you need to have quick timelines and turn things around, and also have a little bit, hopefully, of understanding of your process as well. I've been in the food industry for 10 plus years and have bakery, pet food, and dairy experience, which covers quite a bit of an industry, I feel like. Now let's get to everyone's most excited topic of regulations. So as I said before, the labeling regulations, which we've reviewed before, is in 205, the 300s, the 301, 302, 303, 304, and more. But today we're going to be focusing on the regulation of 205, 307. And this is a CFR Code of Federal Regulations, labeling of non-retail containers. So before SOE, there were actually old regulation, and I highlighted this on this screen just so you understand that this was the old regulation, but we have a new regulation now. A big piece that changed was they made a statement about the certified organic by statement not being required, but they completely removed this statement in general from 307. So we do not focus on COB statements on non-retail containers. Now, this is the new regulation, and this is what we're going to be going over. There's section A, B, C, and D, and we will go over each one of those today in a little bit of detail. And with SOE, there came a new definition of a non-retail container, which was also embedded into that CFR regulation. And it's defined now as any container used for shipping or storage of an agricultural product that is not used in the retail display or sale of the product. And then in the SOE preamble, which was a little bit of a breakdown of the regulation with questions, they gave examples of may include the following of non-retail containers, such as producer boxes, totes, bulk containers, boxes, crates, cartons, master cases. And then they continued on to trailers, tankers, rail cars, shipping containers, vessels, and more. And I did want to highlight, when I'm looking at these, I'm seeing primary packaging examples in the first bullet point, first or secondary packaging of wholesale product in the second bullet point, and possibly no packaging. These are just examples or thoughts that I've seen of something that could relate to your guys' operation. And now we'll hit section 205 through 7, number A. And this slide is focusing on the non-retail container used to ship or store certified organic agricultural products must display. Section 1, identification of the product as organic. So that's pretty cut and dry. You have to state organic on that non-retail label. but you can put something such as OG, ORG. You can use that USDA seal because the USDA seal does say organic, and certified organic by. These are examples. So as long as it says OG, organic, has organic anywhere on that non-retail container label, you're in good shape. Something that did change that's no longer acceptable is we're not allowed to put 100% organic or made with organic. It has to identify organic on a non-retail label. Now, if it's a retail label, you can follow those guidelines of 100% organic, organic, and made with organic claims. Example of displays, again, we had talked about it a little bit. You could put this organic statement on the stamp of a produce box, pallet tag, seal tag, magnets on rail cars we've seen, truck and trailer numbers, and like a seal. You can buy seals now that say ORG on it, and plastic dock holders on the outside of the shipping container. And then the second bullet point of section A2 is the product lot number, shipping identification, or other unique information that links the container to the audit trail. So in this example, you see organic chocolate, ORG chocolate, and this is the lot number. This is the unique information that will be used to trace the documents, trace the product back in an audit trail. So again, this links the product. Lot number, shipping identification, harvest date, packaging date, or whatever you guys find fit that is traceable. And I'm sure you guys are, for some people, very familiar with the trace back audit trail. Now we're going to go on to 205-307 section B here, and continuing that audit trail that audit trail thought process. Section B, now we are talking about we are talking about the actual label. Now we're talking about the audit trail documentation. For non-retail containers, must display the last certified operation that handled the agricultural product. So breaking it down here, we have to make sure we identify the last certified operation. So in this example, this could be a BOL, and it says chocolate factory. So this is the last certified operation. And then on the audit trail documentation, it is okay to identify the agricultural product as 100% organic or made with organic. So it's really just that non-retail label, section A, that you need to focus on, just that organic, nothing else. So audit trail, documentation, linking. And then we get into the 205-307C, which talks briefly about exemptions. And this statement says, as a paragraph A1, which is the label section, does not apply to non-retail containers used to ship or store agricultural product packed for retail sale with organic identification visible on the retail label. And so this overall is saying that you don't actually have to put organic on the non-retail label if it's for retail sale with organic identification visible on the retail label. You still have to maintain that audit trail documentation and numbering system though. So the example from the preamble, which the USDA provided in that SOE breakdown, is an example includes master cases and pallets where the organic identification, such as the USDA Organic seal of or individual retail sale units, is visible. This is exempt because the organic identification is visible on the retail label. These types of non-retail containers are only exempt from the requirement. All non-retail label containers still must be linked or traceable to audit trail documentation per A2. This ensures traceability of the product in the containers and supports organic integrity during transportation, storage, and handling. And then the last section of 205-307D discusses shipping containers for export to international markets. I did break down each section of this regulation until you see these three parts, because these regulations can have multiple layers to them. So D says shipping containers of domestically produced products, so product produced in the U.S., labeled as organic, intended for export to international markets, may be labeled in accordance with shipping container labeled requirements of the foreign country of destination or the container labeling specification of a foreign contact buyer. So again, we're talking about products produced in the U.S. labeled as organic and shipping to international markets and confirming that those label requirements are in accordance with the foreign country requirements. Continuing, providing that the shipping container and shipping documentation accompanying such organic products are clearly marked for export. So this is where it says what you need to do. You need to make sure it says your shipping container and shipping documentation says for export only, and provide that the proof of such container marked and exported must be maintained by the handler in accordance with record keeping for exempt operations. So when you're going to be exporting, you're going to be making sure that your documentation says for export only when you're going to an international market. Wanted to give examples of a couple more exemptions that are possible with 307, the non-retail label containers. So work in progress WIP containers used to move goods during the normal sequence of production that do not leave that operation only applies to operations engaged exclusively on organic production only. So when you're 100% organic and you have work in progress containers throughout your operation, you do not need to do the non-retail containers, which I think makes sense. There's a low risk there of commingling or contamination because you do not have any other non-organic products. So, and then again, kind of the same thing, storage containers that do not enter the stream of commerce. This applies to operations, again, engaged exclusively in organic production or handling. Again, if it's not entering the stream of commerce, there's no risk of commingling and contamination if you're 100% organic in your production or handling operation. These are exemptions. And then lastly, transportation that is operated by the certified operation used to retrieve materials to the certified operation exclusively at this operation and only transporting organic goods. Again, this is just if you're 100% organic operation, you're transporting, then that non-retail label containers are not going to be applicable for your operation. And with that, we are at the end of reviewing the non-retail label container. There is a lot of nuances and every operation is different, but I think the regulations provide a good outline of what is required. And with that, does anybody have any questions that I can answer? And we do provide, upon certification, a guidance document that will be sent to help you prepare and work towards what we went over with on the screen. I did not see any questions. Again, Isabella said you are welcome to email us at or go to our website and reach out to us that way via the instant message section. But I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion, and SOE is continuing evolving, and we're always getting better in the organic industry, and we always have more to learn. So I thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.